afternoon, Boston. It is so good to see you all. And to hear Tony Brewer. I want to thank our team, our staff and volunteers, and every single person for making today happen and for your dedication to our city. I am so grateful to be here with my family, my greatest joy and support. Mira will be 3 months old in just over a week, and what a full 3 months we've had. Thank you to all of our speakers, Joline, Senor Jose Masso, for anchoring us in the community and the inspiration of every generation. Thank you, Carlos Aramayo, Local 26, and all our labor partners in the House. Thank you to our union partners because you have built this city, keep it running, and lead the way for working families. I am so grateful for all my city and state colleagues in public service and elected office here today. And special shout out to Representative Aaron Michaelwitz, my big brother in the business, for your counsel, your partnership, and always having my back. And thank you to the incredible Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley, my sister in service. I need to tell you all this. When I was testifying before Congress last month, while the other representatives were in and out after their 5 minutes of questioning, my Congresswoman stayed in that hearing room with us for the entire 6 hours. And she didn't just do it to have my back. She was there to have Boston's back, just like she does every single day. Thank you, Ayanna, for everything you do, and I'm so humbled to have your support and your partnership. So I knew we needed a big room for today. I'm so thankful to everyone and so grateful for your patience as we work to get everyone inside with the rain and everything. It is a beautiful room that looks like Boston. And I love that we are filling up this room today. Aaron touched on this a little bit, but the Cyclorama has been a space for arts and invention for nearly a century and a half. But before this was a venue for community events and performances, before the book fairs and beer fests, before this became home for the Boston Center for the Arts in 1971, before it was a manufacturing hub for spark plugs in the early 1900s, before it was an entertainment venue for boxing and roller skating and bicycling, this space was built to be the IMAX theater of the 1800s. Under a dome, at that time only smaller than the United States Capitol, Bostonians stepped into the middle of the cyclorama of the Battle of Gettysburg. It was a 360-degree immersive painting that showed every detail of the moment that became the turning point in the Civil War and led to President Lincoln's immortal call for a new birth of freedom, that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. So in this space, and for generations across our city, Boston has always been in the middle of the battle for freedom and for our future. 4 years ago, we stood right here on election night in 2021. I told you then that together we would build a Boston for everyone. I told you we don't have to choose between the big and the small, between filling potholes and fighting to protect our neighbors. And I told you that Boston's promise and possibility are on our shoulders right now together. This is our city. Over the last 4 years, I've seen Boston's promise and possibility every day across every part of our city. I've seen it in the strength of our seniors, getting around on our free bus routes to show up at meetings and tell us what we're getting right and always where we need to do better. I've seen it in the wide-eyed wonder of kids visiting the aquarium and museums for free with every generation of their family. I've seen it in the pride of hundreds of first-time homebuyers putting down roots in the neighborhoods they love, in the fire of our union organizers and activists fighting for contracts and rights that set the precedent across the country. I've seen it in the determination of our young people, of BPS students commuting to paid summer jobs, learning to swim and ride a bike, and investing in themselves in the classroom and on the court, on the field, and on the ice. I've seen it in the police officers and first responders, public health workers, clergy, outreach workers, and neighborhood leaders and residents who come together every day to make Boston the safest major city in America. In Boston, we fight for our families and our future. And like so many Bostonians, I've had to be a fighter my whole life. As the oldest child in an immigrant family, navigating the challenges of being in a new country, as caregiver for my mom and younger sisters in tough times, as a mom ready to break down every barrier for all of our kids, and as a city councilor and now mayor, fighting for people over profits, a city our kids will be proud of, a Boston that is home for everyone. I believe in the promise and possibility of Boston because this city has given me everything I cherish in my life. And as mayor, I promise you that Boston will never back down from fighting for our families and our future. Boston will never back down, not to kings, not to bullies, and not to naysayers who want to take us backward. Four years ago, gun violence in Boston had just hit a 10-year high. Every year since taking office, we've set new record lows, and now we're the safest major city in America. Four years ago, even though we had just had a record boom with historically low interest rates, developers made profits, but Boston didn't get our share of affordable housing. Now we've remade city planning, boosted affordability, strengthened climate protections for new buildings, and we will not go back to watering them down. We've invested in the most affordable housing in a generation and are protecting tenants from rate hikes and evictions and families from displacement. 4 years ago, we had to fight for every inch of progress on climate action. Now, we are protecting our families and our future, leading the country. And starting this summer, all new big buildings in Boston will be net zero from day one. And we are working to help households upgrade their homes and save money. 4 years ago, the Boston Public Schools had a revolving door of leadership and no real plans for systemic improvement. We fought off state receivership, built a foundation for steady progress, and now we're investing to solidify literacy and academics, update more school buildings than ever before, and serve every student according to their needs and their talents. We've boosted universal pre-K and early college to the highest levels ever, and we won't stop until the oldest school district in the country is the best. Over the last 4 years, we've connected hundreds of residents to jobs in life sciences and key industries, helped entrepreneurs open small businesses, and kept up the city of Boston's AAA bond rating. But 4 years ago, none of us could have imagined what these past 3 months have looked like. Today, It's not just our country and our democracy that are under attack. It's communities like ours, our lives and our livelihoods, our identities and our independence. It feels like everything that makes Boston, Boston is being threatened by an administration that is clearly threatened by who we are as a city. We face serious challenges in this moment, and now is not the time for a mayor who needs on-the-job training. I'm not done yet. And now is certainly not the time to hand the keys over to billionaires or developers. Boston doesn't need a mayor who has to recuse themselves from conflicts of interest. We need a mayor whose only interest is Boston. We need a mayor whose only interest is Boston, who fights for Boston's success instead of standing on the sidelines rooting against us. We have already seen what happens when billionaires and real estate developers try to run a country. We don't need to see what happens if they run a city too. Because this is our city, and our city is not for sale. Over the next 4 years, it will get harder before it gets easier for our families. And we need every voice in this fight, for every family to live in safe neighborhoods and homes they can afford, for every student to have the opportunities of our entire city, for our communities to be protected from the uncertainties we all face in this moment and growing with safety and belonging. We need every voice in the fight for Boston to be a home for everyone. So today, I am so proud to stand before you as we launch officially our Reelection campaign. I am asking for your support. I am asking for your support, and I am asking for your vote because we have more work to do and because Boston families deserve a mayor who fights for them. Together, we have spent the last 4 years making big progress on the big challenges our city faces, and we have much more work to do. More work to keep the city safe, more work to lower costs, more work to keep investing in our schools, combating climate change, caring for our seniors, and continuing to deliver top-notch city services. It's not easy making the greatest city on earth even better. And it's not easy, especially during times like these. But we can and we will, because here in Boston, we don't back down. Here in Boston, we stand up, we fight, we win, and we show the world that when we work together, because we work together, anything is possible. So I am asking every person in this room, will you stand with me? Will you knock on doors? Will you hold up signs? Will you organize? Will you help us win this race? Will you fight for Boston? Me too. Thank you so much. God bless everyone in our city. God bless the greatest city on earth.